Jeeps. Hi there. Hi there, everyone. Hope you hear me. Um, well, we got a minute. Yeah, it's live. Probably know what's coming. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Well, afternoon where I am. Good morning to the U.S. people. This is the Friday live stream. I'm traveling. I'm not at home, so I'm traveling. I'm stuck in the other room. My wife and her mother has guests, so I got banished into the room. So again, hi there. I was almost tempted to not do it today because I promised you guys I have a live stream. I tried. I almost had a not live stream, but I couldn't even record it. So it was just as good to just do this. Well, let me just talk. I'm not going to talk much about plans and things. I'm traveling as hell. I'm in the midst of. I had to transcribe I haven't posted the video from the conference previous week's conference. Last week's, not this week's, but the previous week's conference I gave the talk on. I gave it. I transcribed it, or had an AI transcribe it. Thank God. I have to go through the notes. Thank God for AI transcriptions, because those are complete hell on earth to kind of go through it. It just okay. You get a transcription of a video. I have my notes now with the transcription of the video. I'll get a paper together for the guys by mid-July, so I have something, and then I still have to write my paper for September on Aristotle's political anthropology. And I still haven't heard my publication for a journal. Should have been done in May. It's still not released, so I'm kind of a little nervous about that. They're slow and they're not released. And even though I got another journal that I sent things in January for, they said that someone finally responded that it's reviewing, and I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? I suspect that they're waiting until after the school year, to kind of review things. So that's kind of really annoying. So that's like kind of a very annoying thing. So that's my busy work. I haven't finished recording the last 3 videos of the ethics yet. I've been a crazy week with we traveled to my mother-in-law right after teaching. I had a Monday, very busy, a lot of crazy things, things. I'm starting this semester, this weekend. I'm starting a new course at my American Norwich University, a course on basically the courses on international law. So I have to get ready to contact students this weekend. And I'm finishing up my things for Warsaw University. Next week, it's going to be complete hell next week, and I have problems next week because of health. I have a health checkup coming, and I have to go get EKG for the whole day on Wednesday, and and then my finishing classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, full classes. To this week, after my 3 classes on Thursday, I rode to the driveway. We drove to my in-laws, all traffic like this. It was exhausting. And just collapsed, honestly, just collapsed of exhaustion for a couple days. So, um, what can I say? Okay, I'm just telling you what it is. Want to know? Um, Yesterday was a holiday in Poland, so it was Corpus Christi. The Catholic holiday of the celebrating the body of Christ, right? Which is not which understood as the Eucharistical hosts. That in the Catholic tradition, that the even though the external product of the thing is of the Eucharist is wine and wafer bread, wafer, hardly bread. Um, in fact, it is the body of Christ, the body and blood of Christ. Right? That's it's internal. Like this is the Catholic tradition of transubstantiation, right? Using the kind of scholastic metaphysics to explain how the external thing is one thing, but the spiritual thing it's not spiritual. It's actually really. It have this really complicated scholastic argument about this, and this is dogmatic Catholic teaching, right? I'm not a Catholic, so but this is the holiday that celebrated it. Now, in communist Poland, Catholics who wish to preserve their identity as Catholics against the communist state and the party illegally held, during tradition of Corpus Christi is that the church would parade, the parish would take the Eucharist and parade it around, and a parade from the church around the community to back to the church. It's like a celebration of the Eucharist. And the communists, the communists used to, harass them. Anyone who participated was basically blocked from Communist Party participation, not condemned you from going to university. I mean, that's the oppression of the communist era. So, hello. Okay, I'm making sure. I see I'm not sure if you're hearing me or not. I'm kind of like, I got a 1 dot reputation there, and therefore I'm kind of like wondering if this works with the headset on. So that was, what was happening. In Catholic countries, it's kind of a holiday. In Germany, it depends on if you're a Catholic land or you're a Protestant land. You're the land, or this, Americans say state, would be was traditionally Catholic. They don't always have the same holidays. In America, it's not a holiday. It's not a holiday. Okay, Corpus Christi is not a holiday. We had someone coming in here to checking. My mother-in-law popped in. I could crazy. I don't know what to say in that sense. So Corpus Christi was this holiday. We had to come. My wife wanted to check my mother. We also checked the family car out, getting it fixed. And I have to give my wife some money because of the cost of getting the oil changes and things. Expensive life, So she does it here in her hometown rather than up in Warsaw because it's significantly cheaper, right? So, I went to sleep yesterday. I been sleeping, recovering, resting a little bit of exhaustion. So, just kind of getting mentally. I got my schedule for next year, fall, ready, and they only want me teaching 3 courses, which is kind of a little nerving to me. If something doesn't make, I could get stuck with only 1 class. They made some bad choices on putting the 2 politics master's level courses together. So someone who scheduled it kind of wrong. They kind of have the disciplines competing with each other in certain days. And in other words, both politics courses were on Friday, which I don't. Friday, I understand why, because the writing classes are on Friday. So therefore, they wanted to have them something other than the writing course to be there, and they have to do they have to do 2 advanced research seminars, pro seminars, which are research seminars, which are topic based, one in humanities and one in the social sciences. So ironically, is the 2 politics ones are competing with each other, which is stupid. You should be doing it so that a student who doesn't want to come in on that day, because they picked another day to do the writing course, they should compete with it like that structurally. So that was kind of like the chaos of, that I made a kind of like a comment about it, saying, hey, there's something wrong here, you check on it. And the incoming director, he's currently the vice director of the program and also head of the MA scheduling, said, okay, I'll look at it, checking it, because I don't think he looked at it. I think that they just simply let the person who arranges the schedule do it, the USIS girl do it, and it's fine. Usually it's okay, but this is a case where it's kind of, I wouldn't do it this way. This is why you might have less, if you have the 2 politics courses, may explain that, why there isn't much this, your choice between this, you might want to go over here versus over there. And I don't want to come that day. I'll go find another day. And this is what I think this is not a good idea in that framework. So a lot of bureaucracy. One of my colleagues had a computer disaster, and he was like, "Oh, my computer!" Both his computers, his work computer and his personal computer, fried, and he's now like desperate. And I'm not home, so I can't. I was going to let him use one of my. I have a laptop I could have let him use, but I'm not there, so that's life. So that is some of the things. But back to what was yesterday. No, I woke up today and I heard the news about the Trump jury, and I was shocked. This was a. Get the picture up there. I'm just in the bedroom, so it's like, so my set location. I woke up this morning like around 11 o'clock, and I just saw the news on something that they said that. So I spent like 2 hours watching about what I missed yesterday. Because remember, we're 6 hours ahead. We're 6 hours ahead here, so it's about 6 a.m. there. So yesterday late afternoon, maybe I don't know time, the jury came back with a verdict, and it was guilty. This is one day, and even though honestly, I think no matter how you stand on Trump, from anyone who studies law and perceptions of Anglo-American law, the behavior of this judge was outrageous. Letting in his rulings were arbitrary against for the prosecution. He let the prosecution get away. He would protect the jury. He didn't let the jury see a lot of things, and of course that's a good thing. But in other words, from the jury's point of view, he looked like a caring, benevolent dictator. But from the he was a complete one-sided partisan hack who should have recused himself. His wife worked for Letitia James, the other prosecutor in New York, prosecuting Trump in that sense. You have his daughter, a DNC fundraiser, and he himself was the man who tried Bannon and others. So, I mean, this guy is a hack. It should never have been done. And all the significant, honest, anyone who's been looking at this from a point of view of honest jurisprudence, he has made endless reversible error. His allowing the testimony of Stormy Daniels, his handling of every time the defense objected, he ruled against them. And every time the prosecution objected, he ruled with them. He scorned it. I mean, when the defense brought a witness, he basically made saying how the witnesses kind of responded. He was staring. The judge started staring at the witness, and the witness responded by looking back. And the judge, how dare you? I'm going to punish you for doing that. Really? That isn't. He intimidated. He, as a judge, engaged in witness intimidation. He prevented. He basically let the. He gave jury instructions to the jury in a completely illegal thing. Remember, Anglo-American law. You have to have unanimous verdict, a unanimous decision on a verdict of a specific crime. You have to tell the accused the crime you are charging them with. What is the crime? Go check. It's not giving money to Stormy Daniels. That's not a crime. It's, in fact, a bad reporting on the money, the payment. That's a misdemeanor at best, and the statute of limitations long was overthrown of that, way past due. Misdemeanors. It's the only way this becomes a felony thing is the idea of some other crime engaged in while doing those, that becomes a felony. So what's the other crime? And what the judge gave to the jurors, the instructions, completely violated all norms of law. That this moronic judge is allowed to, he should be removed. He should be disbarred. Disbarred. How his behavior in this case is, it tells us that we're banana republic. Putinisty land. My God, the only difference between what Putin does in Russia and a Soviet show trial and what happened in that New York courtroom was, at least Donald Trump isn't killed. Right? That's the only difference. A show trial, a guilt. When we're seeing liberal commentators talk about no one is above the law. No one's not only no one's above the law, but no one's below the law either. And Trump is below the law. The whole argument was that Bragg used in that case was, you don't like Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump. Find him guilty. Find him guilty. Trump. I mean, you had that the deranged actor De Niro, playing his taxi cab character. Donald Trump is the biggest danger to humanity. I have to read here. Donald Trump is the biggest danger for democracy. If he becomes elected president this time, he will never. Come on. What a pathetic character. I mean, you should have respect from as an actor. Here's a case of an actor that has really his derangement of this thing. He's a puppet. Has to read his lines. I mean, he's an actor. Come on, he couldn't read. He couldn't know his own lines. Is he that demented? He wants to make fun of Trump. I mean, at least Trump can say something without having to read the script. Come on, let's be serious. This is ridiculous. I thought about this. This is why this day, Sticks, Kicks, and Hammer said about this, called the day. This was on Corpus Christi. The jury did this. Remember, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated on Good Friday. Okay, remember that. This is a Ford Theater moment in American history. What the Democrats have done here has basically jettisoned the rule of law. they are so afraid of Trump that they will throw out the rule of law. They so wanted to win, they threw out the 2020, they threw out, they fortified, as like Time magazine even said, they fortified the election to ensure Trump would be default. Time magazine, no Trumpistic MAGA sent book. So let's talk about this honestly. Why are the cases brought now? Because he decided they try to target their political campaign. This is a case of a banana republic. Come on, even people like liberals like Dershowitz, who doesn't like Trump, would not vote for Trump, honestly says this is why I find it hilarious. Dershowitz, who really supports Biden and believes in this, is going to vote for Biden, even says what Biden is doing is wrong. This is what's so stupid. If he was, this is why I even have less respect for Dershowitz. By your own logic, you should not vote for Biden, because he is destroying he and the Democrats are destroying the very framework of law that you think is essential. Green Glass, one of my commenters, I just put a thing that's such a hard. Yes, it was. I was sad. I've been sad all day. I've been down. I mean, as I said, if they convict him, I think they're going to. This is a mistake. The Democrats, by convicting Trump here, have unleashed forces that they cannot put back in the bottle. This is like I said. Go watch what Scott Adams live streamed the verdict, and his, he kind of at that moment when the verdict came in and the shock on it, and he was doing everything he could hold back not to vent anger. And then he said, "Fuck America." America died today. Go watch Scott Adams' reaction to that. And today's, I watched his little thing today, and I even said, did a super chat. I don't use super chats, but I did it just for fun, saying, "Hey, I wept for America when I heard that." This is the cross. What the Democrats did here with this verdict, what the judge did by this verdict, is cross Rubicon. This is a Rubicon moment. The Rubicon is the story about Caesar crossing the Rubicon, starting the Civil War that eventually destroys the Roman Republic. The first part of the Civil War, that then ends up with him defeating the opponents and setting himself as dictator. Well, yeah, okay. Mother's derangement syndrome. Yeah, they're gonna have. This is going to make these people are sick, and this is stasis. This is what the Greek means by stasis, civil strife. We are they have destroyed every bond that they have made living together impossible. They made a common life together impossible, because there's no reciprocity here. What is the reciprocity? That you beat me, I have to let you beat me up, but if I fight back, I'm now the bad guy. There's no reciprocity. And without reciprocity, there's no society, and there's not even the possibility, the free market people don't realize this, that if you don't have reciprocity, you can't even have the very foundations of market exchange. No reciprocity, no market. No reciprocity, no society. Game over. And I am sad. This is a sad day. This is a moment. You're saying, as you see in the thing, people are saying, family members, like, oh, yes, it proves that Trump was guilty, and how dare you elect him? Well, that just may make people even more mad. I think this is going to backfire. I think, again, the Democrats, by doing what they've done here, have set in motion forces that they will not see, to tsunami-like forces of anger, outrage, and shock. Now you're going to say, normies don't understand this. Did Trump get convicted? Or must have done something wrong, right? But I think this is going to be. I mean, I think Scott Adams goes a little too far. I think they're going to kill Trump. They have to kill Trump. I don't think that. And to be honest, he's right. That what the Democrats and what Mersham has done here has destroyed the very belief in the rule of law. What the Letitia Jameses and the Fannie Willises and John Smiths have done. Smith's prosecution about the federal case by Smith, where he rigged evidence, tampered with evidence, with the files. He lied. He misrepresented things to federal judge. I mean, this is third world, and this is what America now represents. You wonder. People in Poland, look how the PO government coming in power, the center, the center left, center right, pro-your globalist, pro-EU party, who just kind of made a the traditional conservative PIS, they got the most votes, but basically they didn't have a majority, and therefore all the other parties getting together formed the majority to allow them to rule, the coalition to rule. This PO leading Donald Tusk, right? Donald Tusk promised them all other things. He's delivered 100. So he gave him 100 promises, and he's only delivered 2 or 3, and he can't deliver anything more. Oh, but they don't care. They got rid of that guy, right? And what is the first thing the PO government did? Lawfare, prosecutions. This is copying what the Biden. So therefore, any attempt by American diplomats in the future to criticize a country that engages in political prosecutions of their opponents, the Americans have no fucking legs to stand on. This is what they accused of Trump of being. Oh, Trump has discredited America on the world stage. I'm sorry, Obama did this first. Obama, the nothing, nobody, con chill, guess who's coming to dinner candidate. Acceptable to what his promise, his 2008 promise to get it beyond racism, and then what happens? Racism, divided America even worse. He unleashed, he engaged, he used it was under his administration that we had the use of the complete politicization of the IRS, using of the IRS to target Tea Party people and political opponents. I mean, ways that during, Mr. Nixon used one FBI file and forced him to resign. But how many IRS cases sent to the justice, the IRS against conservative organizations. How many? And then the whole problem of negotiating with Iran and the Iran deal and the cluster fucking up of Afghanistan, engaging in the most asinine policies of let's embrace gender studies in Kabul. I mean, Bush started it, but it was tripled down under Obama to appease his left-wing society. Obama used drones to kill U.S. citizens. Why isn't Obama actually violated U.S. law? Come on, why isn't he being charged with crimes? He can be now. Given what you've done here with this, given what the current ruling of the court is, until the damn Supreme Court alters the, finally gives a ruling on presidential immunity. I hope to God some state prosecutor will start charging Obama with murder. This is that Wu. I mean, John Wu just wrote a piece I didn't see. What's her name? Oh, come on, Morgan Kelly, not Morgan Kelly. What's her name from? Who has her own? She was on CNN. She was on Fox, and then I don't want to do it. I can't remember names. I'm blanking, and I'm getting angry at this because I should know better.
That was put in place.
No. What is her name? Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly's recent interview, where Megyn Kelly is outraged about this. A lot of non-Trump Republicans are now so outraged of what was done. Come on, just look at Megyn Kelly. Look at her post on about this. And she raises what John Wu, again, another neocon. I like John Wu. I always thought John Wu was a very good scholar. I don't disagree with him on his literature about executive power and war. I think he's right. And Mr. Torture Memo, honestly, that wasn't about torture. It was about the limits of law, what is doable and not doable, which is supposed to. What you want your lawyers to tell you to do. Well, Wu has never been a Trumpy kind of guy. Okay. Wu's recent piece, Megyn Kelly kind of talked about how he says, well, Republicans have to now. Republican lawyers, legal teams have to engage in equal lawfare against Democrats. I'm not a fan of what's his name either. The guy that what is the he has this talk show, former Reagan era. Max Levin, his thing of today about why we needed to take this to the Supreme Court and get this, and again bring up, and then Patel, the lawyer Patel, was on one of the channels where he talked about he's going to bring a lawsuit by using that, so it's RICO. Go for RICO. Go for Michonne. Go for his daughter. My God, Michonne's daughter is making money because of this. Lawyers need to fucking sue her. Look at that. There's a case where it's got rejected, but my God, it got to the Supreme Court twice. It got rejected. But let's crush the legal system. Use the law, destroy the left. Just do it. The Republicans need to has to do it. Now people say, eye for an eye. This leaves everyone blind. No, reciprocity. This is You've engaged in, this is the law. This is the rule you've accepted. So if we don't engage, this is how Democrats going to play. If we don't play their game, they will always win. Okay, so we get blind. Who cares? Yeah, both of us will be blind because they will blind us anyways. Or we're not going to blind ourselves, but because we won't play by their rules, so they get to blind us, but we won't blind them. They'll poke our eye out, but we aren't going to poke at them, because if we poke at them, they'd be blind too. Seriously, people. Seriously. I mean, now I'm starting to rant, okay, but I want you to think about that. That is the problem. This is the reciprocity problem. This is why, everything who talks about game theory and about tit for tat strategies, you have to play. This is Robert Axelrod's Evolution of Cooperation. If they start changing the rules, they're doing this. This is the new game. And until everyone says no, this is, by the way, this is what we call this is Grisham's law in economics. Bad money chases out good money. In Poland, they call it Copernicus's law. But this is Grisham's law. This is Grisham's law in politics. This is that bad practices force. You don't play by the bad practices that deliver benefits. If you don't play them, and there's still if you have to counter them, or if not, you can't counter them. You have to play by their rules so that they will suffer to the same degree that you suffer by them. You have to make the world enough. You have to make it enough of a living hell that all sides say no more. You have to, that's the logic of Hobbes' social contract, right? You have to make the world a living hell so both parties will agree to surrender and not do it. That's why it's sickening, because the logic of what they did. What happened here is they destroyed the rule of law. That took took England centuries to develop. And they turned us into a fucking third world shithole. Thank you, Democrats. Really, thank you, Democrats. You don't think you deserve something bad happening to you? You don't just think you deserve that everyone who now you've destroyed something like this, that you're not going to be say, oh, but that's not right. We should not, I can understand why Scott Adams said, I'm not, we have to be careful. And I agree with him, we have to be careful. I mean, Democrats, remember, Democrat juries in the South used to lynch black men, or approve the lynching of black men. Remember, it was a Democrat jury that tried a justice system, and the Clarence Thomas hearing tried. Remember that this is Clarence Thomas was famous response to Joe Biden was on that panel of these white liberal judges who tried to use a slanderous accusation to discredit Judge Thomas. And he said, this is a high-tech lynching. Well, what do you think this was? This was a lynching of Trump. Attempted lynching. Well, James decided to go after his money. I mean, you have non-political people like O'Leary, who doesn't want to talk about politics. This is because he's a traditional businessman. He just wants to do business. He doesn't want to get into the partisan morass of this. And he says, you've destroyed the American brand. I mean, I think he's naive. He may be sad, but he has to realize I'm sorry. Yeah, they have. And you're gonna try to be neutral? They're the ones destroying the brand, and you're going to be neutral here. Pick a side. There's no middle ground here. No fence sitting. Either you're on the side of trying to preserve America and restore America, and that is Trump. I mean, Trump is an imperfect instrument. Trump is not my choice. He's a liberal Democrat. He's a moderate, mushy. Yes, he's a Reagan-esque kind of character. Popped up of this. He's a vulgar. What is Dennis Quaid? Dennis Quaid, who was interviewed. Dennis Quaid was being interviewed by Dennis Quaid, who just did the movie about Ronald Reagan, and he had just been interviewed by Jordan Peterson as interview. And he talked about this. But he said, I'm going to vote for Trump. I didn't want to vote for Trump, but after seeing how they've gone after him, have to. This is about preserving our Constitution. Okay, that's the if you love our Constitution, you love the rule of law. If you believe in civil liberties, if you believe in the right to a fair trial, and that you have the right to know the crimes that you're being accused of, if you believe in the due process of law, and that it's wrong for prosecutors to intentionally target people because of who they are. And that it's wrong for judges and prosecutors to violate the principles of law so that they can achieve their political ends. If you believe in these things, you must vote for Trump. Otherwise, you're on that side. Simple. Simple as can be. This is a Rubicon moment. You have to choose the side of, I hate to say it, the forces of darkness. You're going to say, oh, but here, I'm going to be a good liberal Democrat. Trump, I'm going to appeal to De Niro, man, who's saying Trump is that mobster. He's going to be dictator. So he's the forces of dark. Really? He's not the one who used the rule of law. He had 4 years to throw her in jail. Did he do it? Did he do it? Okay, he's going to do it this time. Trump is too nice. I mean, you've roughed him up a little bit, and he might kind of now be a little tougher than he was in the first term, but he's not. He just doesn't have the kind of viciousness that you guys, the left, has. It is an existential moment. Realize it. I don't mean to harp on this, but this is the sad thing you have to realize. And if you don't realize this, then you're deluding yourself. This is why it's sad. This is why it's fundamentally sad, because it's the forces that unleashed that the leftist Democrats in their use of the lawfare into courts have unleashed the forces that will tear this nation. Oh, but didn't Donald Trump do that for? No, Barack Obama. Oh, Bill Clinton. Honestly, he didn't start the fire. Trump didn't start the fire. The fire started way before him. This is only, Trump only just played ball. Trump just played ball how they were playing ball. In other words, Trump decided to play their game and win. And he taught the Republicans, you got to play the game that's in front of you. You can't just be this liberal dream that media. I mean, go watch West Wing is the attempt to kind of create the liberal vision. In fact, they did. They all during the Bush administration, they gave you Josiah Bartlett as an alternative to W. Instead of a Clinton, you had Josiah. He lied, but he lied to cover up not blowjobs, but he lied to cover up having MS. Even though his MS should have, he was not capable of ruling. He clearly, by the last season of it, showed that his illness did make him incapable. But then we decided to let we are Woodrow Wilsoning it. He could act. His mind is still active. Yeah, FDR. How FDR lied to us, lying to the American people by preventing people realizing that he was in the wheelchair. And put anyone who took a picture of him in the wheelchair, where basically the political establishment destroyed them. Come on, know your friggin' history. How no one cared about anything like naughty during the LBJ wasn't that bad, but Kennedy was. Okay. Come on, let's look at the problem with Kennedy and his mistresses and his sex problems and his drug problems. No, I don't buy the whole. The CIA killing Kennedy. Bullshit. A kook killed Kennedy. Who cares? Mary and the Democrats used Kennedy's dead body to basically, and LBJ used Kennedy's dead body is simply just to advance the liberal cause. In other words, JFK was more useful dead than alive. He knew it. He was going to lose the presidency in 1965. One-term president. He was going to have a split Democratic Party. Why the hell he was in Dallas was to prevent the governor of Texas to running against him on the Democratic ticket. He was in Dallas that day to kind of stop the Democratic governor from announcing. Okay, because it was a year before the election. 64 elections. I said 65. 64 election. And it would have been a one-term president. Dying getting blown away and killed was the best thing for LBJ. No, he was going slow because he was showing off, not prerogative. This idea that the CIA did it was nonsense. See, the CIA and Kennedy loved each other. He and the CIA were like that. They weren't going to, this idea that the CIA got the Kennedys. Bullshit. It was, Saran was, both of these guys were kooks. One was a commie kook, a real hardcore commie kook, an ex-Marine who defects to Russia, marries into the KGB family, comes back to America to kind of play the role of this, but still connected. The KGB didn't trust him to do anything real. So he probably did a lot. He decided to prove his worth. Come on, this is the reality of this. Saran is not a KGB or deep state plot. Saran was simply just a kind of a crazy activist who wanted to stake a strike at a pro-Jewish politician. And Bobby Kennedy was relying on the Jewish lobby heavily to kind of play the war. He stole the war things from what is the guy's name? The other candidate who was the real anti-war candidate. Oh, come on! I'm forgetting the name. And then when just the mere mention of, LBJ's chicking it out, 68. This year in 68, this election and this is almost the kind of image of 68, with the only difference is that Biden is no LBJ, doesn't chicken out, didn't pull out. He doesn't dare because, to be honest, Kamala Harris is no Herbert Humphrey. Doesn't have any of the capacity Herbert Humphrey did. And I think Herbert Humphrey might have won the election if the radical left didn't have that much of if Chicago wasn't as brutally bloody. The Chicago the left, the radical student left, the Vietnam protest left at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, and the fighting with the police, daily police, really fundamentally lost Humphrey that election. And I think this is going to happen also. But the difference is there won't be Humphrey, it'll be LBJ. And it will be Biden is no LBJ. LBJ was competent. LBJ had a long track record of actually accomplishing legislation. Biden has never done anything but fucking line his pockets. This is like, they say, Karl Marx said about talking about history repeating itself. The first time was tragedy, second time was farce. Well, this is farce in this sense, from the Democratic point of view. He betrayed the Israel. He sold out the Israelis because it's two-state solution, right? Two-state, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan. Because he's afraid of flipping those states because he's running to his damn space. Again, someone else said this about the 92 election, about George Herbert Walker Bush losing 92 because he had to run to his right base because he was afraid he was going to lose his base. And therefore he had to run to his base because of Buchanan. And because of this, he couldn't appeal to the center. And you also had the problem of Perot, right? The fluctuating, unstable Perot. And Bill Clinton, who did what? He opted to, he took the DLC, Democratic Leadership Council's position of basically, let's not embrace the radical, let's not attack the rich, let's embrace the market, let's embrace the free, let's not criticize the Republicans on free trade, let's criticize the Republicans on not doing enough for social services and what. In other words, the whole Democratic strategy, neoliberal strategy of the Democratic Party, and then that became the position of New Left, New Labor. The European left as well. It's this whole new direction of politics. Come on, that's the direction of this. This is and to be sad what happened. Well, I hate to say it. This is going to be the reverse 1992. Well, by doing this, this is going to allow someone who has done the exact same thing. Trump has done the same exact thing that in many ways, the kind of reverse trajectory. In other words, he took the Republican Party, who was blindly free trade, and made them pro-worker. He took a Republican Party who thought the minority was their enemy and made biggest outreach to any both Hispanic and African American of any Republican, since like before FDR and Eisenhower. You have to really, he's okay. I think he's going to get 23% of the black vote. Maybe 30 if he gets, I don't know. I'm going to be conservative. I have to go watch someone today in a couple minutes to see if I'm right. Well, okay, that's it. I'm sorry to bother you guys. I kept my my rant. I was trying to say the day America died. I was thinking of the day Old Dixie died from the movie Band and saying maybe the day Old Glory died, right? The rule of law is gone. flag, oh, glory comes down because why? Because of the judges. The judge decided to throw the people who have sworn to protect and defend the Constitution and the basic fundamental principles of the law have betrayed their oaths. This is what happened. You don't think, and this coming after Labor Day. Come on. I mean, I did a small video. What is Labor Day? Labor Day is the day we celebrate those who've given their lives for their country. This comes after 2 days after Labor Day. What the judge and the prosecutor did was, my God, the blood of the dead who died for this country. The ancient Greeks understood the Erimnes, the Furies, the primordial gods of vengeance. You don't think all the soldiers who died for this country, those who died for this country, their blood is not angered? The blood in the soil, in the earth is, I'm going to be using pagan language here, the metaphor of ancient Greece, but Hesiod teaches us. You don't, and what's taught to us in the Aeschylus' Orestes trilogy, no, not Orestes, but also, I mean, the what do you call it? Oresteia, right? The story of Orestes, the Oresteia. Agamemnon, the libations bearer, and Orestes. All of these three dramas talking about the betrayal and the vengeance of those forces that go there. You don't think on the blood. This is that scene from Henry V, from Shakespeare, where Private Bates, talks. The king is hiding, pretending he's someone else, saying, "Well, the people who don't die good this day, the king is going to have to answer for their things." I'm sorry. On this day of judgment. On the day of judgment, Judge Merson, these prosecutors are going to face the tribunal of the dead, of all the soldiers who died for this country, and they will be the jury that convicts them. To what? Who knows what the dead will sentence these people to? This is I'm going to use this metaphor. I'm going to end on this dark vision, because this is the forces of stasis that tear apart society. The Greeks thought that this was part of what the Furies did, the Eurimedes did. It got people to kind of go after each other. You've unleashed, by what they've done here, by betraying their oath to the Constitution and betray the honored dead. Those who sacrifice for their country, by their disruption of the Constitution and the constitutional norms. This is what I mean. They've unleashed forces. You're crazy. Okay, you don't have to believe the Greek myths. What are the Greek myths? But they're as Jordan Peterson would argue, myths are nothing more than kind of metanormative discussions about the forces of our psyche. Right? The forces of human psyche at work. Trust me, this is going to be big. Okay, we'll stop. I'm at my hour. I'm 50 minutes. I can't go on too much. I can hardly hear. I hate putting these ear plugs in and talking into this. It doesn't feel natural. I hope you don't like it. I mean, I should read Courtless. James has sent something from last time video. He liked my he said what? I'll just read what he said. He goes, "Thank you for your analysis of labor constitutional reforms. I thought they were trying to push things to continental direction, and if they managed to imply some of those measures, a significant right-wing movement would be needed to right-will them back. Some other news from the campaign this week: the conservatives, the National Service. I think that's just stupid. This is, I'm not sure if this is to please their core voters or if this is to promote the integration of national. Who knows? This was a stupid political. This is. a response to the Russian threat, okay, and a zero-seat campaign that AI has inspired, getting picked up on social media. They'll give them nothing. Again, I think that's a mistake. I think giving the conservatives 0 seats is bad idea. I think they need to. You cannot let anyone win. You have to give them you have to force a none of the above concept. So vote people who want to vote Tory. If you're in a Labour district, vote Tory. If you're in a Tory district, vote Lib Dem. Create a situation where all the parties get like 20% or 10%. That is the only way we can create just a caretaker government. Nothing, just a non-entity, which then forces the destructions of the political parties. Giving the conservatives completely 0 and putting Labour in power would be dangerous now. So, okay. I'm going to stop here. It's dead time. I'm at the end of it. I'm exhausted. It was a very dark day. I got things to do. I have to call a student in America. Guys, let you guys go. If you want to, please like it if you liked it. If you didn't like it, don't say no. Helps the algorithm. I know about 20 people, 30 people watch this on regular. I mean, now today it's only about at least 6 or 7 people today, on and off. So like it if you liked it. If you didn't like it, you can always say no also. But like it, please. It helps the algorithm and helps it grows. If you want to follow me on social media, links are below. My academic social media. Check me out as my scholarship and research. You can check those out below. And if you want to help me with some money, because it helps, man, trust me. Patreon or Subscribestar, or buy one of my books through any means like online or bookstore online or through the publishers. Well, that's it. Take care and have a good evening, a good weekend. Bye-bye.